All right, today we are jumping into The Aperture Diaries, a novel that really makes you think by completely reimagining our most precious resource, time. So just think about this for a second. What if your life was literally a balance sheet, and every single minute of it was a transaction, a credit, or a debit? That is the wild idea at the very heart of the world we're about to explore. So let's dive into this world. It's called the Commonwealth, and it's a society built entirely on one single, all-consuming idea. And that idea is the hour bank. It's a system where time and only time is currency. Every single citizen's life is constantly being tracked, traded, and spent, right down to the second. Now, the logic, it seems pretty elegant, right? Almost perfect, even. You go to work, you do valuable labor, and you earn hours. Then you spend those hours on everything you need. Food, rent, you name it. But here's the catch. If your balance hits zero, your time in the Commonwealth is, well, it's over. On the surface, it looks like the ultimate meritocracy. But as we're about to see, the reality is a whole lot darker. And this is where things get really interesting. See, about 70 years into this whole experiment, a researcher named Helena Crane starts digging, and she uncovers a pretty terrifying truth that's been hidden in the system's code from the very beginning. The first thread she pulls is just a number, 417. It turns out that 417 people, many of them original founders and critics who question the system, have been completely erased from history, just vanished from every record like they never even existed. And then she finds this, an absolutely bone-chilling quote from one of the system's main architects, who just happens to be her own father. The hour bank doesn't fail despite being impossible. It succeeds because it is impossible. What could that possibly mean? Well, that's the whole paradox, isn't it? So how does this trap actually work? Well, it's brilliant in a really twisted way. It's all engineered to create debt. First, the hours you can earn are finite. You can only work so much. But second, the cost of just existing is programmed to constantly increase. The pricing algorithms aren't neutral. They are designed specifically to make sure you can never, ever get ahead. The whole point is the deficit. Everyone is designed to die in debt. So what this all boils down to is that the Commonwealth isn't a meritocracy. Not at all. It's actually a machine, a finely tuned engine for producing constant anxiety, and, through that anxiety, total control. If everyone's life feels like it's borrowed, like they're always behind, well, that's how the system maintains its power. Okay, so after Helena uncovers this massive lie, she does the only thing she can do. She escapes. And on the outside, she discovers these hidden communities that are living by a completely, radically different philosophy. You see, in these settlements, people don't earn or spend time. It's just not a concept. Time isn't some currency you have to hoard or a debt you owe. Instead, they talk about duration. Time is something you live in, like the air you breathe. It's a gift to be experienced, not a resource to be managed. And you can really see the two worldviews side by side here. You've got the Commonwealth, where the logic is measurement, your value is your contribution, and the goal is to optimize everything. And then you have the settlements, where the logic is participation, your value is just your presence, and the goal is connection. It's a total clash of philosophies. But here's the thing. The story doesn't just stop there and say dystopia bad, utopia good. No. The second book comes along and makes this perfect opposition a lot more complicated. It turns out that a life with zero structure has its own set of pretty big problems. Not all of these settlements make it, some just fall apart. And, it turns out not everyone actually wants a life that's completely free from any kind of measurement or order. Take the New Garden settlement, for example. It collapsed because of something the book calls social forgetting. Basically, the kids who were born into this freedom, they never felt the oppression of the Commonwealth. They didn't have the context for why this unmeasured life was so important. And eventually, they were lured back by the sheer scale and perceived stability of the old world. And this is where a reformist from inside the Commonwealth makes a really, really powerful point. He says the hour bank, whatever its flaws, solved problems that the settlements have simply avoided by remaining small. He's making a case for structure, arguing that huge societies need huge systems to function, even if those systems are flawed. It's a defensive structure, not just of tyranny. So all this complexity leads to something really unexpected. A reconciliation project starts up inside the Commonwealth. Instead of trying to tear the whole thing down, there's a movement to reform it from within, to learn from the settlements and to evolve. It really challenges that black and white idea that the only option is total revolution.
So ultimately, when you step back, you realize the story has moved way beyond a simple tale of dystopia versus utopia.
The real conflict here isn't between two different societies. It's a conflict that exists inside all of us, right? It's that constant pull between our deep-seated need for structure and order and our equally deep desire for freedom and spontaneity. It's about what we choose to measure and what makes a life truly meaningful, far beyond any spreadsheet. And that brings the whole question right back to us, doesn't it? I mean, our own lives are absolutely filled with metrics, followers, productivity scores, bank accounts, you name it. So the story leaves us with this one final thought to chew on. In our own personal economy of time, what are we choosing not to measure?